At the top of your homework page, you'll see this link for Ivy Global scoring. And this is a scoring and analysis system that you'll use for your practice tests and really anytime you're doing questions from the College Board book. Very first thing is, you can see I'm already logged in, but first thing is sign up if you haven't already, and make sure that you are always logged in when you're using this website so that it saves your answers and whatever work you put in. Here's how this site works. So you can see this is a bubble sheet that's filled in already. I'm going to go to a different exam, one that isn't filled in, so you can see what it looks like. This website isn't perfect in operation. Like right now, I'm trying to switch to a different test and it won't let me. So go over here if this happens, switch like to ACT and then switch back to SAT. And now it'll let us choose all these tests. These are the ones we're looking at. This is the College Board book tests 1 through 8. Note that 9 and 10 are not in this system. So choose a test from 1 through 8 when you're using this. I'll go to practice test 8 because I know I don't have any answers in there already. Oh, lies, I do. Anyway, so but you can see what this is. Basically a blank bubble sheet. And so I'll clear answers here just to make it look the way that it'll look for you. Very first thing here is this button up top that says show answers. Turn it to off. Otherwise, as you saw a minute ago, when we put in answers, it'll tell you right away if they're right or wrong. We don't want that for a practice test. So show answers, make sure that's turned to off. You'll use this as your bubble sheet while you're taking your practice test. You can see here, it's got a timer. So when you're ready to start, click start, and that'll count down. And this will be your exact timer. Remember not to end early or late if you're doing a timed practice test. And what this whole system does as you fill in all your answers. So I'll go, again, this top bar is sort of acting weirdly, but that won't get in our way. So I'll go back to practice test 1 where I have a full set of answers entered. So when you're done taking your practice test, it'll look something like this. It'll just be a bunch of gray selections. You can turn answers on at that point if you want to get a quick look, but really what we do is we click here, view report. Sometimes the pages here take a couple of seconds to load, like this is right now. That's typical. And what the system does is not only gets your total score and your section scores and your sub scores, just like on your real SAT score report, it also gives us all of this data on some really specific question types. So here's how it breaks down reading. For example, like how'd you do on vocab? How'd you do on evidence questions? How'd you do on main ideas versus implied information? Lots of different categories that are really useful for us. Same thing with writing and language, lots of different categories for different types of questions. So for this student is good at most things, but hey, they missed 2 out of 3 on forming concise sentences. So maybe that's something we practice more. And again, with math, same deal, lots of very specific categories into which it separates questions. But of course, this all starts with making sure that you use this as your bubble sheet while you're taking the practice test. So big things again, make sure that you're always logged in so it saves your work. Make sure that you've selected the correct test. If you don't select the correct test at the beginning, there's no way to like transfer your answers to the right test. You've got to select the correct test at the beginning, and make sure that when you are taking a practice test, show answers is turned off so that you don't know whether you're right or wrong as you enter them. And that's how you use Ivy Global.